Gardner-Webb head coach Cris Reisert, the team coming off a win at Lindenwood or against Lindenwood. 42-35 was the score of that. And then this week they're back in action. They're going to take on the sixth-ranked Southeast Missouri Redhawks in Cape Girardeau. So, Coach, a little bit about your team, and we'll go to some questions.
Yeah, no, good to get a win. Excited for our guys. Obviously been a tumultuous start at the beginning of the season, and had a bye week to kind of recenter, refocus, like we talked about last week. And I thought our guys handled it really well. Thought they came out refreshed and energized, and certainly good to be able to get one in the W column. We've been close and kind of been right there, but being able to get over the hump, I think was really good for our program and good for our players, and more than anything, just nice for them to get a little bit of reward for how hard they've been working.
Yeah, is that frustrating when you're doing most of the things right and it just come up short a couple weeks in a row?
Yeah, I think it's tough. I think it's like anything in life, right? We all want to be rewarded for our hard work, but it's also like there's a lot of times in life where you don't get rewarded for the work that you put in. And so I think there's a lesson in that for all of us. I think there's a lesson in the sense of like just because you do good work doesn't mean you're going to get the results that you want. And but it also means that you continue to do good work and you will get rewarded for it eventually. It might not be on your time, but probably on the big man upstairs time. And so we just try to stay diligent and stay present and do the work. And I think we're starting to get a little momentum, which is good.
Lindenwood's coach was just talking about how good your rushing game was, and I just want to get your comments. 306 yards, and Holmes and Sadie, they both over 100. So, what went right on the rushing side of things?
Yeah, well, I think it starts up front. I thought our big guys did a tremendous job. Our offensive line coach, Coach Johns, did a great job developing a plan and really working with those guys. And I think you saw an increased physicality this week than you had in probably the past weeks. And I think they were a little bit more intentional about going out and being a physical group. And I think that they did that both in the run and the pass game. Ran for over 300 and only gave up one sack. And so we're really proud of the effort they put out there. And then certainly running behind our line, our tight ends, Cam Overton and Cole Hoskins. And I think our backs did a great job. We played four running backs on Saturday, and, all four, did some really good things for us.
And then Tyler, efficient, 16-21, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. I would think you'd take that every week.
Yeah, no, Tyler's had he's had such an interesting season. It's like we talked about going into this week. I mean, he's done so much that he should be proud of. He's made some big time plays. He's played really efficient in a lot of spurts, and he's just had a couple plays each game that he would like to have back. And I think this was a week where he stayed within himself. He stayed within the system. He created and made the plays that he needed to make. And he also knew when to tuck it and run, when to throw it away. I think you saw a lot of growth from him in terms of playing winning football. I think he's done it in spurts a lot this season, but he finally put it all together. And I think that's part of why our offense was able to score 42 and not turn the ball over all game.
So let's turn your attention to your opponent, who is having a good season, obviously, and what you've seen of the Red Hawks.
Yeah, I mean, they're what, sixth or seventh in the country. They're a really good football team. They're dynamic in all three phases. They're one of the best special teams that we've seen. Have a good specialist. They play hard. They've got great team speed. Offensively, obviously, they go as the quarterback goes. One of the best in the country. I would bet he's up there for the National Player of the Year, and for good reason. He's been lights out. We've seen him in a bunch of games, and he goes. He can make big time throws under duress. He's won games late. They beat Martin late with a big comeback, and so he's got some juice in that regard. And I think they have pieces around him that are really, really good that allow him to do what he does. Defensively, they're dynamic as heck. They got a great Mike linebacker, a really good strong safety. They're really good up front, and so we would be naive to believe that we didn't have our hands full. We've got to play a really solid football game to be competitive. But I believe that with a great week, we'll be able to put a good product out there.
Do you think they're better defensively or offensively? Or maybe it's both. Maybe the answer is both, but it seems they get a little bit more attention offensively, but they may be a little deeper defensively, if that makes sense.
Honestly, I think they're really, really good on both. They've battled some injuries, I think, on offense since early in the year, but they're really good on both. And they have marquee premier players on both sides of the ball. I mean, really, you look at it, I think they have just watching them on tape. I think they're a team that's got 3 or 4 potential All-Americans, and not even exaggerating, and so I think it's a really good football team, and I think both sides deserve credit for the year that they're putting together. And we've certainly got to play a complete football game in all 3 phases. to be able to do what we'd like to do.
You've played some good teams, obviously, this year, and some good FBS teams. Would you play a team with a number in front of its name? Does that make any difference? Maybe not in the prep, but then if you win the game, obviously it's important. But does that make any difference to you?
Kyle, I'm just trying to have a really good Tuesday practice. That's the extent of my world right now. And so we are so knee deep in Gardner-Webb. And like I told you in our bye week, it's the reflection point for us has been, it's quite honestly irrelevant who we play. We need to hunker down and we need to focus on us and focus on our details and our process and being accountable and being energetic and having a purpose in everything that we do. And so I think it'll be a fun game for our team because anytime you get a chance to play a team that's ranked in the top 10, that's a cool opportunity to see where you're at. But for us and the focus, it's on us, and it's on Gardner-Webb, and it has to be.
Well, Coach, I appreciate that. Best of luck to your team this weekend, and we'll talk to you again next Tuesday.
Thanks, Kyle. Good luck.